Hey there, before we get started, I just want to tell you that it brings me absolutely zero joy reporting on these crazy stories with cheaters and these dark secrets that were hidden from us. If you're like me, I'm sure you can relate to this. You're a guy that was probably raised an empathetic person. Maybe you were brought up with a family where you had a strong family unit and you thought like women were sugar and spice and everything nice and all the sweets and joy in between and, happy wife, happy life. And that's the dynamic in the world that we're raised in as an empathetic person, as an empathetic guy. So you go out into the real world when you get older and you get your heart torn out because you don't understand some of these dark truths. That's the only reason, and I say that from the bottom of my heart, that I make these videos, because I genuinely wish when I was around 18 to honestly even earlier, if I could handle it. I don't know if I could have handled it at 15, but like just understanding, hey, this is how the world operates, because I didn't come from that world dynamic. You will get your heart ripped out. Here's what to look out for, and basically just watch your back. Don't take these women serious from when you're young. And I didn't listen. Well, I didn't have that advice around, so unfortunately, I made a lot of mistakes, got my heart broken a lot of times, and that's the reason I make these videos, to help you guys break free from the same mistakes and break free out of that cycle where a lot of guys get trapped in, where they're constantly either paying child support, they're on their second or third marriage, or they're in a miserable marriage with a cheater and someone that they're trapped with forever. So with that out of the way, what we're going to talk about now is pretty much a cheating story that can summarize all of 2024 and pretty much since 2020 happened, and how the world's dramatically just changed, and how people are just more selfish and egotistical now than they've ever been in history. It's really quite sad and disturbing just to see the trajectory of where we're headed as a society. And what we're beginning to see, and if you've been paying attention, I'm sure you have, you're watching a video like this, is just out in the open cheating, right? It's just like a normal thing these days. I have stories on stories on stories, and this is a story that I'm going to share with you guys because it happened a couple days ago, and I know for a fact that it can help someone out there that's watching this video. So a couple days ago, I was at the mall and I was just doing some shopping. I was in like one of the clothing stores, and I was kind of near like the front of the store, near the entrance, and I was just looking at some clothes or whatever. And I see this guy walk in with his other homie, and they go shopping or whatever. And basically, he and his homie were shopping for their girls to spoil them. That's what they said. So they were getting a bunch of like women's clothes and stuff like that. And they were going to check out. And this is like an upper scale clothing store. So they were trying to spoil their girls, quote unquote, by buying her expensive stuff. It's also, you can't buy her love, right? You'll figure this out shortly. So they're buying all this stuff. They go to check out. He gets like tons of stuff for his girlfriend, if she even exists. And then they walk out of the store, and as they're leaving, this other girl and her girlfriend walk in at the same time. I see this guy who just got all this clothes for his girlfriend, and his friend stopped there dead in the track, like right outside of the door. Mind you, I'm like, I'm still going through clothes, but I'm peeping everything. Like I'm still paying attention to what's going on, but I'm also like trying not to. You know how it is. So I noticed he's talking to his friend, like, hey, like, should I go talk to her? Like, I want to at least get her number. Da da da. So he ends up leaving his bags with his friend, and he goes back inside, and he walks past me, and he goes up to this girl who's like, probably, if I'm right here, yeah, she was probably about like 7 feet away from me, so I could pretty much hear their entire conversation. So he opens and he's like, hey, like, I find you really attractive, blah 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 blah, like, what's your name? My name's da da da. Like, he just opens her, casual PUA stuff. So she's all smiling like, oh, you're so sweet, like, da da da, but I'm so sorry. And this is what they always say. I'm so sorry, but I have a boyfriend, and I don't think he would like that very much, right? Something like that. That was my best girl impression. Yeah, forgive me. And he was like, oh, really? Shoot. Well, let me at least get you on IG or something. And then she's like, okay. And then he's like, what's your IG? So she types it in. She's like, types it in, whatever. They still are talking. She has a boyfriend, she claims. This guy just went shopping for his girlfriend to spoil her. He claimed, well, he didn't tell her that he had a girlfriend. And then he ends up actually getting her number. They were laughing when by the time he left. And I was just like, the world is I'm just standing there looking through clothes still while like simultaneously still being involved in this interaction going on, thinking to myself, these people ain't shit, son. Like, this is 2024 summed up in a box, man. I've seen some crazy stuff this year. It's just sad. Both these people are in committed relationships allegedly, right? Because sometimes girls will say like, oh yeah, I have a boyfriend, but they're really just doing that to basically get away from the guy that's asking for their number. But it seemed legit, you know? Like, I don't know. I just got that vibe that she actually was in a relationship the way she said it. Like, you guys had to have been there to like see the way she said it. It genuinely sounded like, it wasn't like, oh yeah, I have a boyfriend. It wasn't like that. It was like, oh well, I have a, like, she was actually hesitant, which makes me think like, dude, she probably did have a boyfriend at home. And will he ever know about this? Or that'll just be like a random guy that followed her on IG, right? If you've been in a relationship, there'll be those random guys that follow your girlfriend on IG, on Snapchat, and then somehow it's like he starts watching your story, starts seeing him like the post or whatever. This isn't to make you paranoid or anything, but it's just like to open your eyes up to a lot of things, because I've had it where my own teammates on my basketball team have gotten my ex-girlfriend's number behind my back, and I finally caught them on her phone while she was in the shower, and I went through her phone. And I wouldn't have caught that if I didn't go through her phone and I didn't see those notifications, because she slept with her phone on her side of the bed whenever she'd stay over, and I didn't have her code or anything to it. So it was just like a stroke of luck. Like, she literally thought she could get away with it, so she left her notifications on, but she usually would have it on like do not disturb, so I wouldn't even see notifications pop up. Which when you're young like that, you don't realize these things, and you don't want to think it's cheating because you're so grateful that you're in a relationship with someone. So stories like this one and then the other ones on my channel, this is the exact reason why I share them with you guys, to warn you, because I wish I would have had that when I was younger. Someone looking out for me, kind of like a big brother that's like, hey, she's for the streets. Like, don't take it serious, bro. Like, these are the warning flags to look out for. So the warning flags that I noticed with her, at least with this woman at the mall that allegedly had a boyfriend, was she was wearing very, very revealing clothing. Okay, so she had like a crop top on, clearly attention seeking, clearly a size or two small, right? Just, you know how girls dress these days, especially at the mall, attention seeking. And she also had one of those, she had like a lace, I don't know what it's called. It sort of looks like their underwear like is coming. You can see like the strings that would like go down to her thong, but like they go over her hips. You guys know what I'm talking about. I might pop up an image right here if I don't get demonetized. But it's like the little strings on the side that come around, so it looks like she's wearing like lingerie, like some BDSM costume. Anyways, she's wearing one of those. And the fact that she's wearing revealing clothing, that's a big one for me, because this is something that I also overlooked because I didn't want to think that my girl was doing the same things. You know, guys, if she's wearing revealing clothing out in public constantly, and that's your girlfriend, I'm not talking about like a girl you're just seeing once in a while. Who cares what she does? I'm talking about like someone that you're actually in a committed relationship with, or is your wife or something, which should be even worse because you're trapped. If she's wearing revealing clothing, that's not just for you, right? She could wear that around the house for you, but she might not even get dressed up and wear makeup around the house for you. But all of a sudden, when you go out to dinner, when you go out to the mall, when you're out and about shopping, whatever it might be, you go to the car dealership, she goes to work, guys, she dresses to the T's. All of a sudden, the lashes come on, the makeup's done, she's wearing tight clothing, showing a little cleavage, the clothes get a little tighter. And there's that little voice in your head that's like, why didn't she dress like this when she's around the house with me? Like, when we first met, yeah, she dressed all sexy, but now she's dressing better for the public than at home. She don't even wear booty shorts around the house anymore. She don't even wear makeup around me. But she expects me to be all turned on. But when she goes out in public, She's dressing like a Playboy playmate. And the craziest, saddest thing ever is that the boyfriend or the guy at home has no idea that all this is going on. And in this case, I'm not excusing the guy out of this if he actually went shopping to spoil his girlfriend, because he's a cheater just as much as she is, and they both ain't, you know what. But this is the kind of world we're living in, guys. Like, we have to wake up to this. And you that's watching this, I know you probably have a nice heart. You were probably a good guy. We can relate to that. You know, you were raised with some sort of morals and values and believing the world was a certain way. And then over time, you know, what happens is we kind of get jaded and a little bit depressed and pissed off at the world because we see how situations like this and people like this are super transactional, super superficial, and totally self-absorbed for their own interests only. So I want to warn you guys and wake you guys up. Be on the lookout for women that are wearing promiscuous clothing. If you're in a relationship, she's always dressing up when she goes out and she's looking for attention outside of the house. You notice that she's like lacking in her dress and the way she gets ready for you at home, but she's constantly out in the public looking good and putting on an image. She's working late, all these different things. Look out for what she's posting on Instagram. Look out at who's liking her pictures constantly and following her, even though that might not there might not necessarily be anything to it. You know, we're living in 2024. We just saw I just told you guys about the 2 exchanges that we just saw. It could be a guy that she literally met at the mall that is keeping tabs on her. Basically, what he's going to do is he's going to watch her stories, and if she is in a relationship, basically wait and sit on the bench and wait for his turn. Okay, so she probably has a lineup of guys like this in her DMs or that are following her, that are watching her stories, her posts, keeping tabs on her relationship, and just waiting for the guy that's subbed in the game, right, playing with her, that's dating her, to basically drop the pass. So when the guy she's dating drops the pass, like in a basketball game, the coach gonna be like, timeout, we gonna sub in these guys on the bench that are waiting, and up steps the guy that she met from the mall that she had interest in, and he subs in for you. You're back on the bench. You're out of sight. You're probably not going to come back in the game most of the time. So you're in the way back of the line. She has 9 other guys lined up, most likely, that are going to be subbed into the game before you, that she's pretty much kept in a lineup waiting on the bench for when you drop the pass in the game. It's literally like a basketball game if you guys are hoopers out there. So I love you all. Stay blessed, and take note of what I just said. Watch this video again and drop a like. Hit that subscribe button to get this information out to more guys. I love you all. I just said that before. Anyways, I do love you guys. Stay blessed, guys.